grab is going to go full screen. It's where he wants to be. No gunshot now to get rid of it. Be patient. The increased range. Thank you, Marauder. He's going to do max damage. Are we going to see a crushing blow? Yes, we will.
Are.
Damage over time armor. Are we going to see Fox in the losers bracket?
Oh, yes, we are, and that is it. Chop Chop for the win, and Sweetie cannot believe it. Punching the ground with excitement. He took it.
Fighting games are pretty cool, and if that's news to you, here's a great video by the Cosmonaut Variety Hour explaining why that you should definitely watch after this. Now that we're all on the same page, if you're still here, that means you're looking to get into Mortal Kombat 11, or at least have a passing interest in NetherRealm games, which means for now you're my kind of people. Allow me the honor to introduce you to the game, but more importantly, bridge you to different facets of the community, because once you find a place where you belong, the beautiful violence on screen will have so much more meaning. And maybe one day you'll feel this strongly about NetherRealm games as we do.
It's going down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Both men at about even health. Comes down in the big boot from Madsen. He's hyped, throws a chair. Wait a minute. What is going on?
Well, where do we start our journey? The game, of course, and I don't mean the gameplay, although we will get to that soon enough. I mean the actual purchase of the game. NetherRealm has technically released MK11 3 times, which is pretty confusing, so let's start there. First, we have the base game, Mortal Kombat 11, which will include the story mode, all multiplayer modes both offline and online, the crypt, basically everything you need to get started if you're not looking for a huge commitment quite yet. Oftentimes you'll find the base game on sale on Steam. As for consoles, I'm not so sure. Next up we have the Aftermath DLC, which will continue from the story of the base game and add Fujin, Shiva, and Robocop. It is worth noting there were 6 DLC characters added to the base game before Aftermath that are not included. Those are in Combat Pack 1. Lastly, we have Ultimate, which if I'm not slacking should only have been out for 2 weeks as of the making of this video, and will include everything, the full story, all combat packs up to this point including the newest 3, Melina, Rain, and Rambo. And if I had to guess, some cosmetic goodies as well. Now, as I said before, I haven't had the liberty of buying Mortal Kombat 11 on console yet, but if the experience is anything like PC, just be careful you get what you want. This is one of the few times where there's just too much content to organize and to market, and things get a little weird. Assuming you've made your respective purchase though, your download is starting, and I insist while we wait, we go check out some of the cool people I mentioned earlier. You can't even begin to talk about the Mortal Kombat community without mentioning Ketchup and Mustard. These guys have done it all. Commentate, host tournaments, compete, match analysis, speedruns, character tutorials, and that's just off the top of my head. What makes this duo so great is that they're always there through thick and thin, operating with the community first in mind. Look, this pandemic has been pretty rough for everybody, especially gaming as of late. What was once an escape for many can easily become a prison. Despite that, these guys still get on stream and produce content that puts a smile on my face, whether they're playing MK or not. As far as first looks go, I recommend checking these two out for that feel of hanging out on the couch again. And for those who really want to relish in the Mortal Kombat experience and find what this series means for you, there's someone else I'd like to introduce you to.
Taking Play 2 away from you after this one. No more of this.
Anya.
Ow! Okay, nice whiff.
Worthless. Sake. We should look for other characters with air grabs.
Now, if you're a longtime fan or bordering in fandom, I heavily recommend Losty Girl. Her love for the franchise is unmatched. MK11 launch event, she's there. Day 1 reaction to arcade endings, she's got them. Customization showcases of her favorite characters, I didn't know that was a thing till I saw her do it. Her dedication to Mortal Kombat in its entirety is downright contagious. Just the other day, I caught myself taking a trip down memory lane after watching Losty do a challenge run of the MK9 arcade ladder on hard without dropping a single round. Remember that guy? Yeah, you do. Hours and hours of getting speared to death and watching Shao Kahn's stupid win pose every single time. You need to check out her video, because that's a trip down memory lane you will not regret. If you're looking for a fresh way to fall in love with the franchise, you need to check out her channel and stream too. Her chat radiates that same energy, and they would love to welcome you into their community. Just stop by and say hi.
After customization, and then I'm gonna jump into labbing. Losty is gonna lab with Melina. You don't hear that often that Losty is labbing, but for Melina I will do everything to get good. And oh my god, I still can't believe that she's here in front of me.
Alright, let's pretend your download's complete, and if it is, holy moly, you must have one of those fiber optic cable thingies because it's only been like 3 minutes. Either way, you're probably thinking, I'm gonna play some online, get in there, fuck up some noobs. Literally. Well, that's where I'm gonna have to stop you. You forgot one thing, you don't actually know how to play yet. And no, this isn't gonna work anymore. Let me just show you the flow of a natural match before you get in there, and some of the options at your disposal before your face literally gets ripped off. At the start of every match, I insist, no demand, you press pause and open your move list, and don't worry about all this gibberish, just go to combo attacks, hover over whatever sounds deadliest, and press 2, which in this case is triangle. Do the same with some of your special moves as well. This will tag the moves so that you can always see the inputs for them during the match. Now you have access to them all the time. Now you can fight.
Isn't that always the case with you?
I refer to Katana's emotions.
As the violence unfolds, you'll begin to notice a few things. If you press the meter burn button, R1, during a special move, oftentimes you can use the offensive bar to enhance it. Notice your character flashing. You'll also notice when you get knocked down, more often than not, your opponent will continue pressuring you even as you get up. In these situations, press up in 3 or reposition by interacting with the environment using the meter burn button. There's usually a prompt for this near the health bar. Now whether you're getting smacked up or not, you're gonna hear this sound at some point. And that means in game. You or your opponent have less than 30% of their health, which means access to Fatal Blow. This move will take about 30% of your health by itself, and have armor absorbing at least one attack as it comes out, so you can even use it to hard trade if you know when your opponent's about to attack. Don't worry though, it can be blocked, and well, if you don't block it, fortunately, it can only be used once per match, so use it wisely. Be triumphant though, you earn the right to the fatality, but since YouTube won't allow us to see it, we'll just move on. Psych, they gonna have to ban me. Gotcha. That was a lot of information for some, and hopefully a bit of a refresher for returning players. In light of this, I took it upon myself to condense all this information into the world's first combat companion. It'll have everything I said earlier and more, so in between matches you can continue leveling up your game and begin understanding the language you'll hear from either commentator streams or character guides. Speaking of guides, let me introduce you to Rufelmonger. Even outside of MK, he's my go-to for all things fighting game, whether it be character guides, balance changes, news, etc. Whenever people ask me about the latest and greatest in the FGC, I just refer to Rufel in some way, shape, or form. In fact, if you're already familiar with the mechanics I mentioned earlier, he has a great video for returning players so you can hit the ground running. I wouldn't doubt if he's posting something interesting right now. Let's say that you're still hesitant. Fighting games tend to give off an air of commitment, and it's hard to commit when you don't know why this is fighting this. If you're like me, you like to get into character and you're in luck. Contrary to most fighting games, NetherRealm has been producing grade A story modes ever since MK9, and this one's no different. You get time with each member of the cast, showing you their personalities and history up to this point. Even some DLC characters are central to the plot, so by the time you get to the end, you know exactly which character you want to dig into as you learn the ropes. But let's say that's not what's stopping you. Maybe you just don't want to get stomped by some guy who's been playing non-stop since release. Losing is part of the process, but the sugar that helps the medicine go down is a great group of people to lose with, not against. That's where MF Slayer and his awesome community come in. They're always putting in work for the people, whether it's hosting online tournaments, doing educational content live, or just vibing with the chat, getting to know people. Let me just say this, every single Slayer stream I've been to, especially as of late, gives me a sense of belonging, and I think you'll feel the same way. I honestly can't say enough about what this guy is doing and will do for the MK community down the line. Just know if you want to know what it feels like to be a part of the FGC, start by following and catching one of his streams. Well, you may be wondering, where does that leave you, Kai? Before we get into that, I'd like to give you a round of applause because you've given fighting games almost 10 minutes of your time, and you might not see it now, but that makes me very happy. If you want to connect with me, I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays and would love to meet you, play you, teach you, whatever. Remember, you're my kind of people now. Come by and say hi anytime and feel free to ask questions, especially about MK. If you feel like you need a more hands-on approach to learning the game, we could even arrange a coaching session, building you from the ground up. I've really enjoyed making content, bringing people into the community, and if this video gets shared enough, I'll start gearing my stream towards that end as well. Look guys, NRS is one of the few developers I can say are doing their players justice, especially with MK11. There has never been a better time to be a part of the community, even if it's just online. There's room for everyone, just make sure you go at your own pace and bring a friend along for the ride if you can. Once you find your place, it'll become clear why the creators, competitors, and community have the drive they do, and before you know it, you'll want to leave your mark as well. All resources mentioned will be posted in the description below, and thanks again for watching. So next time we meet, whether it be as combatants or companions, hopefully it'll be in